What's up, everybody? How's it going? I'm Seth. You can find me at Seth Muse on Instagram or SethMuse.com. Welcome to the Insta Good Show. Really glad to be here with you today. Today, I'm feeling super productive. I'm getting lots of things done, and I'm pumped about it. In fact, I'm squeezing a show in today to share some things with you that I think are really, really important. That I want to break in all the other things that I was messing with to bring you 3 Instagram accounts that I think are going to be helpful for you in one way or the other. So welcome to the Insta Good Show. We help you get Insta-good at Instagram and among other things. So while people are chiming in and finding the show today, I wanted to quickly start going through some of these. I know it's crazy out there, isn't it? It's a little bit nuts right now. So if you find yourself really just kind of swamped or, tired or whatever, and just really not feeling great, just understand that you're not alone, and we're here for you. So, all right, well, let's start breaking down some of these posts, some of these accounts on Instagram. Hopefully you are you're following other accounts that are like you, or that you can get inspiration from. And so I want to show you today one of my favorite designers. And then I want to show you a brand that's just doing really, really creative content. And then I want to show you a marketing agency that is really humanizing their brand really well on Instagram. And I think that's helpful for churches. So I'm just going to jump in here and go for it. So here we go. Let's share my screen. All right. So up first is one of my favorite designers. This is Kyra Beatty. She actually designs for Church Media Squad, among other places. And she's done some really creative and interesting things that I just love. And I wanted to show you some of the things that she does. Now, her bio is really funny. She's at Church Media Squad, tagged that Hufflepuff, Enneagram 1. I don't know what For the Horde is. I think that might be a World of Warcraft reference. Gnome enthusiast. So yeah, pretty fun person, and her designs are amazing. I'm gonna show you those. We'll go into this in a second. It's stories that she's collected called 8-Bit Bible. One of my favorite things she's ever done. I want to get to that last, but first let's look at some of these designs. Okay, so partly it's her, partly it's the design. So if you take a look just at a brief, 10,000 foot view here, you can see that there's a lot of really trendy and cool style here that she employs with what she does. And this is the 8-Bit Bible stuff that I just loved, that she put up on her story so she could save it too. But I loved that stuff. Look at this, super cool. That reminds me so much of like when I was in high school, which was in the 90s. There's a very, I don't know, it has a fresh look, but a 90s feel. And I love that. And then these suitcase boxes, really interesting designs. She's just really creative. And I'm never not impressed with what she posts, and one of my favorite people to follow. This kind of thing is one of her more tame designs, I guess, but still really creative. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. It says "not of this world" in there. I'll make that one big. That's awesome. Look at that. That's fantastic. I love that. So she's a great designer, and one of the reasons I recommend using Church Media Squad is that all their designers are pretty good like this. Another group that's really great is Vive. Vive Media are really great. They have great designers as well. But Kyra is one of my favorites. My daughter's name is Kaya. Kya. And so when I saw her name pop up, I was like, hold up, that's close. That's cool. Oh, check it. It's an old school Game Boy. I think she might be close to my age. This is really awesome. Oh, that's cool. I like that. So lots of great inspiration. If you're a designer or you need inspiration for design, she's great to follow. She'll have great ideas, and she's also really great, somebody that might be really fun to hire or have her design some things for you. Let's take a look at 8-Bit Bible. This is her highlight. So she put this in as her story, and so she could create a highlight off of this specific few posts. Look at that. Look, it gifts up. Oh, that's awesome. I like that. That's pretty cool. I love this one. One up when Jesus comes out of the tomb. Fatality. That's Daniel. That's David and Goliath. And then if you don't know that story, that's Elijah or Elisha. I can't remember. And the bears who mauled the youth for calling him bald. I'm not quite sure that one. Okay, that's Joseph in the multicolored coat, Technicolor dream coat. And then Jonah and the whale. Plus 10 wisdom underneath the 10 commandments. That's really clever. I love that. And then he took in the multiplication of the fish and loaves. That's awesome. All right. So we're moving away. Stop. There we go. Cool. So I loved that. I love her design. Go check out her account. It is, as you can see, kai.beatty if you want to check her out. Well worth the follow. All right. Now let's look at the brand. A major brand that I wanted to look through is called Shopify. You've probably heard of Shopify. And, it might be the tent peg. Michelle, it might be the JL and the infamous tent peg. Yikes. Ooh, that's a brutal story. Anyway, so let's look at Shopify. Now, Shopify is not a Christian brand, so, put on your big boy pants and deal with some of the things that are going to be on this page you may not agree with. But I want you to look at what they do for content, like how they are using content. You've seen posts like this that just kind of have a black background or whatever, so they added a color, but they're always about their focus of business and about stores and about ideas. So you can always tell that that's their brand, is start your business, is help your business sell products and focus on ideas, like new ideas. And that's kind of their whole thing. So tag somebody who should start their own business. So yeah. Great. And it reinforces like their product. Start that business. We can help with that. Then they have posts like this that are interviews on, I think this is a podcast. Here's a quote, real simple background, kind of a busy background actually, but a real simple like post idea. It's just a quote. We all use those, but just designing around the quote in a way that looks a little bit, I like how it goes here. I'm just poking around here. I like how up here it looks like, even though you can tell there's a thin line there, it would have been really cool is if they made that the same color and maybe it looked like this was the like a speech bubble that kind of went up. Might have been cool, but they kind of got that effect anyway. I like that. And then they've got this quote, but here's a little bit longer quote from that. So they didn't put the whole quote there, and they put another part of the quote here. Really, really cool idea. So if you've got a quote or something that's too long, it's one way to use it. 3 quotes to live by from Pharrell and Jay-Z's Entrepreneur. All right. There was one down here I wanted to show you. This is great. Check out this post. Simple stats are really great content ideas for your post. But look at this. Did you know 72% of people get their best ideas in the shower? And then they actually put a source down there. That's good too. Whenever you put a stat, it's always nice to put a source either here or you can put it in the actual caption. That's cool too. Just lets people know that you're not just spouting off random, idiocy, which many people are prone to do on social media. So that can give you a little bit of authority, but it also feeds into still their ideas, their new ideas kind of thing. Get your shower caps on, double tap if you're part of the 72%. Simple call to action that gets likes, that gets interaction. How many of us have ever said, use that when you put out a stat or you say something, double tap if you agree or something like that. These kinds of things you could say. Don't say like this post. Don't say comment below if, because the algorithm picks that stuff up. But you can say things like double tap or let us know, or give us your 2 cents below, something like that kind of gets around that algorithm a little bit, but still gives people a call to action to do something with this post. So I really like that they did that. There was another one on here that I thought was really good. Oh yeah, this one. Come on, here we go. All right, so this is your classic picture of a tweet, but they added a background and this little bouncy, drop shadow kind of effect to it. That's really, really neat. That kind of takes the typical tweet screenshot post to another level. And what's good about this is an entrepreneur. It says probably the best part about making it on your own, apart from, making it on your own, is getting to look back and see how far you got. Then they tag the person. Always tag people you quote. That's such a good shareability kind of hack. If there's people in your church in your post, tag them in it. It's always helpful. They'll want to share it and more people will see it. So great tactic there. And then obviously they've got hashtags in the caption. They don't have all 30. They have relevant hashtags, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or less is becoming kind of a norm. That's liked by Zapier. Zapier is another good brand. I really like them. Okay, so beginning of the decade. This is a tweet that looks back over the tweet. Still pretty livid that I'm working this weekend. In 2010, I will take the necessary steps to work for myself. And then now she's tweeting back and saying, I'm doing that. So it's kind of a nice, I started my business. Shopify helps. This is so on brand. That's what it means to be on brand. Notice that they don't have a theme of their feed. I mean, they've got some recurring kind of design elements, but what is their color palette? We don't know. I mean, it's not really super important to them. Look here, we're in neutrals now, doing something there. And I think it's okay to look at your feed and say, for this month, let's kind of have this kind of feel to it. And then for next month, let's have this kind of feel. Let's do bright. And then this next one, let's do naturals. Some people do that because their brand is this logo here, this green, which is a horrible green. It's money. It's the color of money. And that's why they're bringing you money. That makes sense, right? And then the S. Speaking of branding, this is a tidbit off topic, but we were at Wendy's the other day. I like Wendy's. And a lot of, their whole tagline is something about quality, how they never cut corners. And it was kind of a fun teaching moment in that I looked at my son who was in the seat next to me, and I was like, that's why they have square meat, is because they don't cut corners. That's the whole reason they have square meat. And he went, oh, is that why it's square? It's little stuff like that that's part of your brand that can be that extra little something. And, Shopify brings you money, so obviously they've got to be green. I know it sounds cliche, but dude, it works. So Shopify is a good brand to follow if you want to find, how to use content well. These are not incredibly hyper designed, fancy like we just saw from Kyra, but these are functional designs that really do communicate and translate into some actions because they're thinking about more than just how it looks. And for a church, you might find some really cool inspiration from somebody like Kyra, and you should, but the more important thing, if you want people to actually do something, is to put that design to work like this. And when you do that, you're going to find that you've got a 1-2 punch of content in your Instagram feed that is going to be way stronger than if you just did one or the other, or you really just kind of thought about it as an afterthought, which many people do. They just post what they make for Facebook to Instagram. So great content here. Go check out Shopify's Instagram. There's so many things here. This was okay, so they were going through a Black Lives Matter kind of let's talk about that for a while thing there, and so they changed so that it would stand out probably on their feed to more monochrome colors and less flash, more content rich, text rich stuff, and then a lot of campaigns and things. So it was very focused. But then you come off of this, there's so many good things. Anyway, go check it out. It's a good Instagram to follow. All right, so now I want to look at a marketing agency, and typically with marketing agencies, we have this kind of tendency in marketing agencies to be very robotic. And the reason I wanted to look at this marketing agency is because it's really not. Its graphics and things are really cool, and they're very highly, well designed. But one of the things they do really well is they're very human. And so I want to show you this because, and before I jump into it, I want to explain why we're looking at this one, because so many times our churches look at our social media feeds like we're a marketing agency. And it's funny because this marketing agency, in fact, a lot of marketing agencies who are really doing well are the ones that look at their feed and their content like they're kind of like a church, where they're trying to relate to people and have relationships. So it's funny for me to think that we as a church often look at this kind of content and go, we should be more snappy and more cut and dry and more about impressing people, or more impressive kind of stuff on there so it looks good, when the people who make all the cool stuff that looks good are trying to be more human. So maybe it's a grass is greener on the other side kind of situation. There's always a happy medium there, but I think that churches would do well to start to think, how can we be more human on Instagram? So let's look at it. This is going to be great. So I just did something crazy. What did I do? I was in the wrong window. Here we go. Now we're switching. Got it. They're called Huge Inc. Their tagline is make something you love. I love that. Make something you love. So they're a marketing agency. They do a lot of, you can see through their highlights, there's a lot of, causes, not a Christian company either. But their content, I want you to take a look. Never done. Bring it up. Okay. The work is never done. Look, 100 years ago today, the 19th Amendment granted white women in America the right to vote. However, black women wouldn't be able to exercise that right for nearly 5 years after. The fight for the right to vote never ends. Protect it, use it, vote. Women's Equality Day, never done. So this was a kind of an activist post, but it stands out because those words on that card, that doesn't look like that was superimposed into a graphic. It looks like they printed that card and then took a photo in a studio with it. So that's next level like content for something so simple. And we typically don't think about content like that, because our caption is kind of like the story underneath our image, which is kind of like the heading. And so when you think about like a news story, the image is what gets the click. It's almost like the email subject line. It's the fantastic header. It's the thing that you're supposed to drive them to dig deeper into the post, and not just click, but like read what you wrote. Which is why I always say, if you're going to post something, write a caption, write something, give some context, give some some calls to action. But this post does that really well. It's a 1-2 punch. It's another 1-2 punch here. They drive you somewhere else. Staying accountable. This is good. We share these numbers with our people. It's driven by a commitment to diversity, and it kind of goes all through their values. And apparently they did something. And so they're going, hey, thanks for calling us on it. We're in. What I love about their content too, and this is something I never thought about doing, is that they use the H in a lot of places. And they change it up, like that one. And then here's one, and then I come down here. Here's one. They just kind of pepper it in. Here's one. They see. Here's another one. They just do that from time to time. And now let's look at what these posts are. When you click it, be merry. I was expecting more. Okay, this is a video. What does this do? Oh, fancy schmancy. Look at that. Be merry. 87 weeks ago. I have no idea. Okay. Vote. South by Southwest drawing. Let's look at one of these other ones, see what it does. These are cool. All right, this is for Earth Day. Our Earth, our future. Here's a photo. They gave photo cred, animation cred. Here's another animation. How cool would it be is if you decided that you're going to do some simple little animations like this. Get like 50 of them in a stock. I mean, all this is a video, and you lay over a matte kind of cutout vector or something, a vector mask over it with a cutout. And you've got stock footage, and now you can put whatever you want in that footage that could be stock. And there's a lot of stock video sites that you can grab stuff from, and then use your caption to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And it's like, this is a pretty cool post that can drive to this. So I like that. I think that's a cool thing. But look at this. Who's this guy? Bring your kid to work today. Bring your kid to work day. That's fun. So celebrating a day. What else? What does this one do? It looks like winter. Happy holidays from Huge. Well, there you go. Simple. What if you took your logo, cut it out, used it as a mat, and stuck something behind it and did something like this? You'd have all kinds of great posts that you could use, and you could probably use them over and over, because you could post this again just in the winter time on a day when it snows, and Christmas, and in the summer, because it's summertime and it's 2020, and who knows, it could snow. That's just how 2020 is. But you can use these posts for a couple of different ways. Oh man, I didn't know these were videos. Oh, check that out! What a cool animation! Oh, that's sweet. That's a cool graphic. That's really a cool animation. Oh, I like that. Oh, bro. Oh, that hits me in the feels. I like that one. What does this one do? Okay, I'm sorry. I know. I'm kind of browsing and you're watching me. I knew what that was going to do. Sweet. You may not have an animator on your team, but you can do this kind of basic stuff. It's very simple. Look at this. This is cool. Side hustle. That's a little doll setup with a cool comic book thing. That's neat. And it's a slider. Oh, and there's Catwoman. Oh, I have no idea. I'm not seeing these, so I'm so sorry if something bad happens. Okay. Good. Ninja Turtles getting the pizza out of the sewer. That's great. Be a hero. Stay at home. Created to help stop the spread of COVID-19. All right, so they're motivating people to do things. I don't even know what that thing is. What is that thing? We partnered with, there you go, period movement to address period poverty. Okay, I don't know what that's about. If you're a woman watching, maybe you do. Okay, that's a risky run. So a cool marketing agency that really is human, and one of the ways that they're human is they talk about things that people care about. And whether you agree with some of these things that they're discussing here is kind of irrelevant for this discussion, because your church has a ton of things they could talk about that people care about, whatever that is. And especially right now, as they need to have a place to be encouraged, to talk, to share ideas, and just to be loved on, if I can use that cliche. But I feel like with this kind of content, there's a lot of opportunities for us in the church to look at some of these types of things and go, we can do something like that, but here's how we would do it. That's how I operate when I was thinking about content, when I was social media manager for my church. And even now when I'm thinking about what I'm going to put out for myself or for other people I work for, to create social media ideas, I look around and I go, what are other brands doing that are kind of get it? And let's do something in our context that's like that. And that's how you really find these great ideas that can morph into something really cool for your church in the context. Because if you're not addressing the people that you are responsible for, that follow you, that you're ministering to through Instagram, you're going to miss the mark, even if it looks cool. So having an idea of what are we trying to do with this piece of content, and what are we trying to talk about? What are our values? I would recommend deciding what that is, setting that stuff up, and then when you get those decided, it helps you populate that content calendar. It's like, we care about marriages. All right, so once a week at least, we're going to have a post that has to do with marriages. Let's put it on Thursday this week. Let's put it on Tuesday next week. Let's put it on Saturday the week after that. And you just go and pop it in your calendar for a couple months. Then you can come back to that and go, what are we doing about marriage here? Well, here's an idea. You know what? I saw this one that said it was a big poster they took. So let's put up a stat about marriages and take a photo of that on a board or something like that. And if you don't want to do that, find a stock image that has somebody holding a whiteboard and put it in Photoshop and put it up there and put the thing on it and try to do your best. That's fine. I know a lot of us aren't designers. We can't get stuff done, but we got to still post things. So you can figure out a way to make that really, really helpful. Anyway, I hope that's helpful for you. that is the Insta Good Show for today. Just wanted to break down those posts, talk through some of the best stuff that I'm seeing. So to review, great designer, Kai.Beatty. You go find her stuff on Instagram. You're going to love what she puts out. It's going to be very inspiring, and you're going to love that. So Shopify, great brand to follow, see how they're using content, and to see how they're making something clever that all focus on their values is a big deal. And then last, Huge Inc. As a marketing agency, you want to follow them. You can see a lot of humanizing of their brand. They talk about causes. They talk about things that are important to their audience. Because at the end of the day, they're a marketing agency. They make things, and it's like, what does any of that have to do with buy something from us or get a contract going with us or book a call with us? They use their Instagram solely to talk to their audience about causes that they care about. Your church could do that as well. So anywho, catch up with me at Seth Muse on Instagram or find me at sethmuse.com. And I would love it if you would subscribe to the Seminary of Hard Knocks podcast that I am the host of, that has got some new stuff coming out soon. I'm very, very excited about that. We'll talk about Facebook ads, TikTok, and some other things that are happening. So anyway, thanks for watching the Insta Good Show. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one, and God bless.